Hey there, preppers. Welcome to the channel. Stockpiling the correct food and being ready for any emergency obviously is the utmost importance. So I came across an article that talks about things we want to stockpile. I'll be honest with you, there's some things in the article that are not right, and I'll point that out. But stay to the end because it definitely has some very good, valuable information. Let's get into it. From the website Real Simple, here's the best food for survival to stockpile in an emergency. Natural disaster, flood, hurricane, blizzard, anything that'll help you weather the storm. First, they say in a disaster or an emergency, you want calories to keep your energy going. You want some nutrients and some fiber, something to keep your diet normal. In an emergency, generally, you tend to think of meeting more basic needs than preferences and flavors. But if you plan right, you can have a great variety of foods and nutrients. And although there's a lot of truth to that statement, I want to say that having just basic plain food is not necessarily the way you want to go. Simple food to prepare. That's actually good. But understand that you don't want to have just bland food in an emergency situation. You need to have some normalcy. You need to have some feelings of, okay, now I can relax. I actually had something good to eat instead of simply just basic plain food. Now, again, quick food, easy food, that's a different story. Then their last tidbit, there's a number of non-perishable foods or close to it that last a long time. And I'll link at the end of this video, another video that tells you about some of those foods. All right, so here we go. Peanut butter, great source of energy, chock full of goodness, lots of proteins and fats. Oh yeah, peanut butter is great. Unfortunately, it's not a long-lasting food. It does have an expiration, so that's something to keep in mind. But peanut butter is an excellent thing to have, at least for short term, for a good year or two. Whole wheat crackers. It's a good substitute for making sandwiches. And it is true, they are a good substitute for bread, which, bread unfortunately does not have a very long shelf life. But the thing is, neither do crackers. Again, a couple years maybe, they start turning stale and soggy and such. Not to mention, in reality, even if they're whole grain, they're really not that great for you. Nuts and trail mixes. Yeah, this is great. Still won't last forever, but packed full of energy, lots of proteins, very tasty, and there's a wide variety. I definitely like nuts and trail mixes. I'm more on the nuts side. I'm not talking about personality per se, although that may be the case. But having lots of different nuts and peanuts and cashews and stuff is always on my list as well. Cereal. And they're saying look for cereals with minimal added sugar, but I'm telling you, drop the whole cereal thing. I mean, at the very least, even though it's not good for you, even like the low sugar ones are still full of sugar. Who likes cereal without milk? So you're probably not going to have milk in emergency situations. I don't think cereal is a good one to add. Granola bars and power bars stay fresh for at least 6 months and also very tasty, lots of energy. But again, same thing, not necessarily the best thing for you. Dried fruits such as apricots and raisins. And it's at least better than some of the things listed so far. Dried fruits are a good option, but again, still a lot of high sugars and stuff in there, but to each their own. And now we're getting to the good stuff. Canned tuna, salmon, chicken, or turkey, as well as canned veggies, green beans, carrots, and peas, canned beans, canned soups, and chili. Yes, 2 thumbs up on that one. Excellent for storage. They last practically indefinitely. The can is sterile. Plus, there's lots of nutrients, a lot of good hearty meal type stuff, especially when they list things like canned chili, because it really is a meal inside a can. All you have to do is heat and go. Top notch. That's definitely what you want to store a lot of canned foods. Dry pasta and pasta sauces. Pasta, I don't know about that one. I mean, I do have some pasta for long-term storage. Don't get me wrong. It is tasty. There's a lot of carbs for energy. But understand you have to have water to prepare it to boil. Water may not be the most plentiful thing. You have to have a heat source to do it too. I don't know. I would at least think twice before storing pasta. Bottled water, definitely. Lots of water. Sports drinks such as Gatorade or Powerade. And I'm not against sports drinks, but I am for electrolytes. And I'll put a link below for an electrolyte that we take as a keto one. All that extra sugar is really not that great for you. Even if you need the extra sugar for energy, doing it in those sports drinks, it's like liquid candy. I'll put a link below for, in my opinion, a much better one to have as far as a keto electrolyte. You want to have your electrolytes, though, to go along with that water. Powdered milk, an excellent choice, especially if you have kids. Sugar, salt, and pepper. Yes, for sure. Multivitamins, very nice. Yes, this is often overlooked and it should not be. Have you ever had a situation where you're just like run down, I feel like garbage? It's because you probably don't have enough of the vitamins to make your metabolism work properly. So definitely have multivitamins in your diet. Okay, now we're getting to good stuff, and this is great. What to buy right before an emergency. Hopefully everything in that last list, at least the list that you want to put together, is stuff you already have stockpiled that's going to last you quite a long time. But if you know something's coming, you may want to consider running to the store and picking up some of these items because these will run out quickly, and having a lot of fresh stuff, well, it's always good to have in your home. Apples, for sure. Citrus fruits, oranges and grapefruits, etc. A great thing to add, of course, we don't have that naturally growing up north. Avocados, wow, very good for you. Tomatoes, not bad. They don't last forever, but if you want to pick up some. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, and yams, definitely a high starch food that will actually carry you through, and they last a long time in a cool, dark area. Cucumbers and summer squash, that's a good addition. Winter squash, sure. And hard packaged sausages. And that's not a bad idea. However, I'd simply get my meat from the cans, and that's what I do instead of actually having sausages laying around. And lastly, more food advice for an emergency. Eating from the fridge in an outage. There's nothing worse than your fridge dying with the power out for days and you lose all that food. So they're saying try to gobble it up as much as you can before it expires. I say have some kind of alternate. A gas generator for a short term, a few months obviously, or possibly a solar generator with a good solar panel. I like the Bluetti. I'll link that below too. It's a really good system to have to keep your fridge going so that way you don't have to worry about ravaging it and taking all the food out quickly before it spoils. Cooking without electricity. In the article, they talk about sterno, and sterno's not bad, but sterno is not for cooking, practically speaking. A little bit of cooking with it. It's more about just heating, like canned food and stuff works well. I would have some kind of alternate cooking means. Your barbecue grill will work well, obviously, if you have enough propane, but having like a Coleman camping stove. Something else I've talked about in this channel many times is the BioLite. It's a great biomass rocket stove that actually charges your phone too. Just simply grabbing sticks and pine cones and stuff from your backyard, you can cook meals on these things. They're really great. Either way, find something you can have to cook your food as an alternate, because more than likely the stuff inside your house is probably not going to be working. Make sure you stock up for special needs if you have something in your home that needs special attention. And finally, what a great piece of advice. Choosing cans in flood-prone areas. Cans are less likely to become contaminated by floodwaters than jars, etc. Yes, excellent advice. Again, there you are with the canned food. What would you put on the list? Obviously, you want to be able to stockpile things you eat, things that you like, and not just whatever stuff. But I'm sure there's some things on the list that you would put on here that were not listed by this article. But either way, pretty good article. A couple things, but there's a lot of good advice there too. Thanks for watching.